Well, hello everyone and Happy New Year. I can't believe it's already 2025. It's kind of crazy. I know I have not been very active on my YouTube channel lately, and that is something I'm actually trying to improve upon in 2025. And one of my goals is to not only get back into my master classes that I had been doing before, but then also to get into more information as far as interviews with people. I really want to start sharing people's messages. I want to get testimonials from folks who have succeeded in their health and fitness journeys and just kind of show people the variety of folks who have had successes in improving their health, improving their fitness, improving their mental health, mental wellness, so on and so forth, because it's about more than just losing weight and this diet or that diet, or you have to eat in this way or you're doing it wrong. I am very anti dogma this year, and it really started last year because I had to make such changes in myself last year to continue on with my own journey that I'm like, you know what? There's no room for dogmatic ideals or anything like that in my life. And I want people to understand that it's okay. It's okay to do things differently than how everybody else does it. It's okay to be different than certain influencers on social media. It's okay because, as I've said for years, N equals one. We are the best experiment for ourselves. And 2024 for me was a year of a lot of self-experimenting and ultimately finding what worked for me. So here we are, 2025, new year. Woo, here we go. But I found it apropos for my first masterclass in 2025 to be about goal setting because, it's January 5th. We're at the beginning of the year. People are in the mindset and the mode of, okay, it's time for me to make changes. And even if your message to change doesn't come until the summer, like it did for me, it's okay. This video will be here for you, and then hopefully it will help you to be able to make goals that are right for you as opposed to goals that are suited to somebody else. A lot of people have trouble when doing their goal setting at the beginning of the year or whenever it is that it happens to be, just being very general in their goals. The whole point of setting goals, and notice I'm saying goals and not resolutions because I'm not a resolution type of a girl. If you're going to set goals, you're going to set goals because then you've got something tangible to shoot for. So lack of clear goals seems to be the biggest tripping point for so many people because something vague makes it really hard to measure any sort of progress on, right? And that's why with my clients, I reinforce the SMART method of setting goals. And SMART stands for different things. We've got S for specific. Your goal needs to be specific. M is measurable. It needs to be a measurable thing. You have to be able to say, I want to lose 10 pounds in the first 2 months of 2025. Okay, so we want 10 pounds, which is a measurable thing. We want it to be achievable. Achievable, yes. 10 pounds in 2 months. When you're just starting off your weight loss journey, absolutely it's achievable, because how many of us are holding on to extra inflammation and excess water weight? So a lot of times, a lot of people will lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. So, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds in the first 2 months of 2025. Okay, so it's specific, it is measurable, it is achievable, relevant. How is it relevant to what you're wanting to do? Like, is losing 10 pounds in 2 months a relevant goal to you? Yeah, okay, awesome. And then timely, 2 months. You've got 2 months to do this. If it takes you 3, guess what? It's okay. You're not a failure because you still continue on until you reach that specific goal. Okay? So SMART, be smart about it. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. Writing down your goals is also something that's very important because you need to be able to see them. You know, a lot of people have it in their heads. This is what I'm doing. Write it down. You know, get a little notebook, write it down. Have a vision board. So many people do vision boards. I'm not that creative at this point in my life anymore. I just don't have time to do it. But if you have the time to do the vision board, do it. You can even do virtual vision boards. There are computer programs that make it. Canva has vision board templates that are absolutely free. And then you can either save it to your phone or save it to your computer or print it out so that you've got it there in front of you. So if you want to do a vision board, do a vision board. If you just want to write it down in a notebook, write it down in a notebook. If you want to put it on a sticky note and have it on your computer so you're looking at it every single day, do it. Write them down. Know what your goals are and have them where you see them frequently so that you don't forget what you set out to do at the beginning of the year. Poor planning. Poor planning is tripping point number 2. We set these goals and this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, we're so gung-ho at the very beginning of the year, right? And then what happens? Well, if you don't have a plan in how to achieve these goals throughout this year, it's just not going to happen. And if your goal is a big one, you know, not just losing 10 pounds in 2 months, I want to, you know, be healthier and more fit and be down, you know, 2 pant sizes in 2025. That's my goal. My goal is to fit into a size 8 dress for my Christmas party. And I'm in a size 12 dress right now. Okay. So how are you going to make it to that goal? We break them down. Break them down into smaller tasks that will eventually build up to that larger goal that you have for the end of the year. So that's where, you know, losing 10 pounds in the first 2 months comes into play because it's a smaller task to that larger goal. The next task can be, I want to get to the gym at least 3 days a week so that you're, you know, lifting weights or you're doing a little bit of cardio or you're doing whatever to improve your fitness. That's another smaller broken down goal that will help you to reach that ultimate goal of fitting in a size 8 dress by Christmas time at the end of this year. And then creating a timeline. Create a timeline to do each thing. So my husband and I, we took a break from the gym last year because unfortunately we had to. For those who don't know, I've got some chronic neck issues from a motor vehicle collision I was in back in 2017. And in the summer of 24, last year, when we were actually on the low carb cruise, my neck started really giving me a lot of trouble. Well, that's because I have to have procedures done on my neck every couple of years to really keep the pain at bay. And it's something that I know I have to do. I'm unfortunately going to have to do it for the rest of my life. Even the dietary cleanups, the inflammation reduction in my body over the last 4 years, just doing healthier things and improving myself is not going to fix this particular issue that's going on in my neck. So I had, unfortunately, a lot of delays with health insurance and finally was able to start getting procedures done in November of last year. It took me that long to get the ablations scheduled for the left side of my neck. I still have to do the right side, but at least half of my neck is better. So my husband and I have not gone to the gym since July of last year, which is really crappy because I feel so much better when I'm going to the gym and I'm lifting the heavy things and I'm doing all the stuff. But I was discovering that my upper body workouts and even the lower body workouts where I had to put any sort of pressure on my shoulders would cause me debilitating pain for almost a week. So I had to make the educated decision to not do those particular workouts anymore. I did still do workouts. They were just different than the strength training program I had started last year. So I had, deadlines that I wanted to meet things by a certain point of the year. And guess what? It got tripped up, but that's okay because it's just something that happened. But we are going back to the gym starting tomorrow. My husband asked me today when I came home from church, how's your neck? And I said, it's okay. So he said, so back to the gym tomorrow. And I'm like, yes, sir, here we go. This is part of his planning for what his goals are in 2025 is I know I need the support and the encouragement of my wife, who also happens to be his coach. And so he wanted to know, am I in a space now that I can do this with him and we carry on with this journey together? Absolutely, dude. So there we go. We've got a plan in place for ourselves. You can put a plan in place for yourself as well. Lack of motivation. And this is where Quitters Friday or Quitters Day happens the second Friday of the new year. It actually has a day. The second Friday of the new year is what they refer to as Quitters Day, because that tends to be the day that people quit. Whatever it is that their resolutions and their goals were, they end up quitting them within the second week of the year. And why is that? They don't have proper motivation. If you don't have proper motivation for anything, you're not going to achieve the goals that you say that you want to do. Even if you write them down, if you're not properly motivated, it ain't happening. So how do we avoid that? Well, this is where your why comes into place, and why I put so much emphasis on making sure you know your why, going through those 5 to 7 levels of why. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to lose weight? Because I feel better about myself when I look better in clothing. Why do you feel better about yourself when you look better in clothing? What is it about looking better in clothing that helps you like yourself better? Just keep going down that line of questioning. And that will really help you with the goals that you've set out for yourself. And it motivates you, it pushes you. You need that why that is going to keep driving you when you want to quit, when you're over it, when it's a really tough day, when you're going through injuries and you can't do the things that you want to do, but you want to keep going down and reaching those goals. That why that you have in place is the most important tool in your belt at that point. And then the other thing is celebrate the small wins. Even if it's a 1 pound weight loss in a week, celebrate it. That's amazing. If it's going heavier and hitting a new PR in the gym, celebrate it. That is amazing. You need to celebrate the small wins. It's not all about these huge victories. And celebrate it yourself. Celebrate it with your significant other. Celebrate it with friends. Celebrate it with an online community. Celebrate it with your coach if you have a health coach. But celebrate the little wins, the small successes, the 1% progress that you make. Celebrate it. This next one is a big one, and I think it's what stops a lot of people, in particular women, and that is fear of failure. And if you've ever failed at something, you understand why you don't like to fail. Because number one, it is a very uncomfortable thing to go through, experiencing failure. And when you're raised a certain way, or you have certain expectations that are put on you from the time you are young all the way through the time that you're an adult, if you're a people pleaser, if you feel like you have to be the best, you have to give all or nothing. It's all or nothing. No, it's not. I promise it's not all or nothing. I'm all about all or something in 2025, because the all or nothing, you have to be the best, you have to finish, you have to. You're putting so much pressure on yourself doing that you're not going to allow yourself to step out of your comfort zone, make changes, and potentially experience failure. It's okay if you fail. We all do. None of us are perfect. Believe it or not, no matter how important certain people may think they are, or yourself, you're not perfect. And we're all going to screw up. That is life, and it is absolutely okay. So, how do we move on and not allow the fear of failure to stop us from our goals? Embrace your mistakes, embrace your failures, because those are learning opportunities. In anything that you try in life, you're going to fail. Don't look at that failure as, oh, I'm done. No, look at it as an opportunity to learn. Okay, what can I do differently next time so that I don't stop because I failed at this before? What did I do that was maybe a little bit incorrect that can be better? And then recognize the setbacks that you are going to experience as temporary. They're not permanent. And if it's something that may even be an extended setback, my neck, then find something else. Troubleshoot with somebody of, okay, I have this setback right now. Do you have ideas of what I can do so that I can keep going towards my goal? Don't let it stop you. Don't be afraid of failing, because we're all going to do it, and it's the best way to learn. Oh, I was a master of procrastination when I was growing up, and even into most of my adult life. So procrastination, that is the next potential issue that we can run into with regards to goal setting. Delaying the tasks that you need to take in order to move towards your goal are going to do nothing but hinder the progress that you experience. So how do we avoid procrastination? Well, a lot of people, it takes years to help reverse procrastination in their lives, especially if it's something that you've done for a majority of the time in school, with regards to work, with regards to your home, with regards to family. Procrastination does not help any of us. Sometimes we think it's a protection method that our bodies are doing, but pushing through that procrastination is going to help us in such a better way than just sitting and waiting till the very last minute to do something and then not doing it. So, how do we avoid procrastination? Focus on high impact activities. Focus on things that are going to have the most impact on what your goal is. Okay? And as I learned at work years ago, and has been my mantra ever since, eat your frogs. First thing you do in the day is eat your frogs. Do the things you do not want to do first, because then the rest of your day is a piece of cake. Eating a frog first thing in the morning makes the rest of your day look like a cakewalk, right? Because that's the worst thing you could do. So eat your frogs. If you dread going to the gym, go first thing in the morning. Wake up 30 minutes sooner than you normally do and go to the gym. Because then guess what? It's done. If that's the worst thing that you could do in the day, if that's the thing you dread the most, do it the very first thing you do when you wake up. Get up, go to the bathroom, brush your hair, brush your teeth, get dressed, go to the gym. Or if you have a home gym, go work out. Get it done first thing in the morning. Okay? Because then not only are you getting that thing out of the way, but it is the most high impact thing you can do for whatever your goal is, if it's a fitness goal. So do it. I start walking the dog. We've got the new puppy now. I've been walking her. Do I want to do that first thing in the morning? No. Granted, we don't have snow on the ground, but it is still cold. It's winter. So, okay. And then set short deadlines. Because if you're creating urgency for this particular thing, then you're going to get it done. So, okay, I need to get my workout done before 8 o'clock in the morning. Wake up, get out of bed, go to the gym. You got it done before 8 o'clock in the morning. That's a success. Check. Lack of accountability. That's again where having a support system in place is a good thing. Because while we want you to be accountable to yourself, some people need to be accountable to another person. And without accountability, your goals can just slip away. So if you need an accountability partner, utilize your significant other, utilize a friend, utilize a coworker, utilize your health coach. The feedback I've gotten from most of my clients for the past year was the accountability that they got from having a coach is what really helped to push them to achieve the things that they achieved in 2024. And they are learning to be more accountable to themselves, but having that outside person there asking, hey, did you do this? Or having to check a box in their weekly check-in saying, I got 3 days of movement in this week. That makes sure that they get it done because they're being held accountable for it. Making sure that they're getting sleep in, making sure that they're drinking their water. That's accountability. So if you need another person to help you with that accountability, do it. And if you need me to be accountable, even if I'm not your coach, it's okay. Join my Facebook group, follow me on Instagram. I'll hold your ass accountable. No problem. If that's what you need me to do, I'll do it for you. If it'll help to keep you going and on the right track, even though we're going to have trip ups here and there, it'll keep you going on the right track. And then again, review what successes you've already had. So whether you do it at the end of the week, you do it at the end of the month, you do it quarterly, do a review. Write down those wins as you get them or have them documented somewhere, and then go back and look at it. Because when you feel like you're not making progress, or you feel like you're stuck, you're stagnant, I'm sure there are things you have done to improve yourself in the last week, the last month, the last quarter. So go back and look and celebrate those achievements. And probably the biggest thing that leads to goal burnout, we will call it, is overcommitting. So taking on too much, making too big of goals, and refusing to say no will cause you to burn out faster than anything else. No is not a bad word. Realizing you have to kind of scale things back is not a sign of weakness. It is not a bad thing because you are one person. But that one person also needs to realize they are the priority. You have to learn to say no to people, to family members, to friends, to coworkers. Know your limits. Somebody expecting you to do something, or you expecting yourself to do something more than what is feasibly possible, is going to result in failure. And again, we said failure is not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're overcommitting and you're stretching yourself too thin and you're not making yourself the priority, then that's going to lead to failure all the time. And we want those little wins, right? We want those small successes, the smaller achievements that we can celebrate that will keep us going during this process. So know that it's all or something, not all or nothing. If you're asked to take on more tasks at work than you know that you can handle, tell them. If your family is expecting you to drop everything for them because they have something they want to do, not that they need to do, that they want to do, and they're so used to you caving and okay, fine. No. No is not a bad word. No has helped so many people to continue on and be successful, and it's given them a backbone. There's nothing wrong with telling people no. There is nothing wrong with making yourself a priority and not taking so much on that's not a badge of honor. You are killing yourself by doing that. So love yourself enough to know your limits and not be afraid to use the word no. So working through these steps to make sure that you are setting proper goals, whether it's for this year or 5 years down the line, make sure that you're not making the typical mistakes that most of us often make or have made in the past. Because in order to be successful, there are certain criteria that you need to meet, and you need to make sure that you're not self-sabotaging yourself and these goals that you want to hit. Because I think if you go through the process that we just went over and you make sure that you've got everything in line to be able to succeed, you are going to have an amazing year, and also learn to appreciate yourself more and be able to celebrate yourself more, which is so very, very important. And before I end this, I want to go again over making sure that you have a proper why, because you may have all of these goals that you want to achieve for the year, but if you don't have the proper why in place, it's going to be a lot harder to reach these things and keep yourself from stepping on your own foot or shooting yourself in the foot as you're going through this entire process. Because knowing what's going to push you, it's going to be an uncomfortable process. You want to be self-resilient in going through your goals. And the resilience is going to come from knowing exactly why it is that you're doing this. What is it that's going to push me when things seem like they are impossible? You are your own worst enemy when it comes to self-limitation. You tend to talk down to yourself. I know I do. I catch myself a lot quicker now, but I do it. So going through the 5 levels, the 7 levels, however many it takes to get that emotional response. There's nothing logical about your why. You need that emotional response. And as I tell my clients, it's not always going to be weeping. You know, I have multiple whys in place right now. Some of them make me cry. They get me so emotional, I cry. Some of them make me so unbelievably happy, I just want to run around and jump. Some of them make me very, very, very angry. Allow yourself to get that emotion and sit with it. Because the harder this process gets for you to get through all of those levels, the closer you are to the reason that's going to push you when everything seems like it's stacked against you. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable with yourself, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable with others. So, Happy New Year to everybody. Welcome to 2025. Again, this channel is going to be a lot more active this year with masterclasses, interviews, just general ramblings from me. And I hope to see everybody much more frequently in the future. I'll see ya. Bye.